All right, this is just shit my mom did, part 2. This is the one of the many food episodes you'll find throughout the course of this series. Anyways, growing up, my mom thought she was a fucking good cook, okay? Like, she would always go off about how good of a cook she was. Now, if I was unlucky, I would have been a believer of this because I would have had no other food to base my taste buds off of. But my parents, they split up, like, I don't know, when I was not even 1 year old type shit. And my dad, he was a roofer, and he would have to go out of province from, like, say, British Columbia to Alberta, maybe even fucking Nova Scotia. Who knows? Probably, most likely Alberta, though. Probably not that far. I'm not going to pretend like I know every little detail here. If there's some times and I don't know a detail about it, I'll just be honest with you guys. Or if I really have to fill in some gaps, I'm like, okay, guys, just for this one instance, I'm not going to let a few details get in the way of a good story here. So hear me out, and then I'll fill in the blanks with some creative fucking ideas. But for the most part, I'm just going to tell it the way I remember it and the way I perceive things and how my memory went with it all. That being said, my dad living out of province, like I was mentioning, I'd go visit my nanny and my papa for those weekend visits instead of seeing my dad for his visitation rights. And my nanny, she was a fucking rock star in the kitchen. Like, this lady makes some recipes that I, as a chef who went to culinary art school and got my fucking degree and even worked at a culinary school as a teacher's assistant at the Granville Island Pacific Institute of Culinary Arts in British Columbia, Canada. I got that under my belt. You can't take that away from me. I still use recipes my nanny fucking made back in the day. Like, there's things when I went to culinary school and I thought, oh wow, I hope they don't try to re-teach me how to make mashed potatoes. And then they make it so close to my nanny's recipe. I was like, oh, fucking right. It's like, this is what I'm talking about, doggy. That being said, many of time, my mom would make some fucking recipe and it would just be fucking brutal. I'd be like, what is this? Like, this is gross. Like, these things never go together. For example, there's this one summer when my mom discovered, like, sesame seed oil. And, like, my mom is bad. When she discovers a new ingredient, she will fucking put it on everything. And because she just doesn't know what it pairs with, so she'll just cook it with everything and convince herself that it was good. Because if she likes sesame seed oil, it's going to go on everything. Like, if I was cooking with sesame seed oil, it'd probably be in fish. I'd mix it in a marinade. I wouldn't be, doing my fucking steaks in it. I wouldn't be putting it in fucking my soups. I wouldn't be cooking it for fucking eggs. Just things that you don't have sesame seed oil go with. Like, they just don't pair together. There's a reason why you don't go to a restaurant and you have sesame seed oil fucking bacon. You know what I mean? Just, it doesn't make sense. But my mom would fucking do it. And, like, there would be summers where you'd be forced to eat these things, and she'd try to convince you it was good. Like I was saying in the last one, where my mom would blame fucking the people of Italy for her actions of why she's like, oh yeah, well, true Italians always eat dessert before dinner time. It's just because she was fucking being piggish. But she would do things like that. She would, like, make up some random fact, like, oh, all Italians, put garlic in, I don't know, like, she would always over garlic things too. This is probably ruining one of my future just shit my mom did stories, so maybe I'll even, now that they're in a verbal audio format, I can put more stories into one story, I guess, or one chapter. I don't know I guess this is chapter 2. I can take stories from other chapters and put them into this one. Anyways, I got stories for years, have no fears. I got weeks worth of bitching to do. This stuff just rolls off the tongue. It's easy for me, you know what I mean? But this one time, going back to where my mom's shitty cooking, that is. This one time, we had to leave for work early in the morning, and mom was going to make us, food for when we got back, have some dinner. We left at like 10 o'clock in the morning. It was wintertime, so it was cold. Mom was supposed to make a soup. We were supposed to be back by 5. We didn't get back till 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Now, going all day, we're in a fucking freezing cold setting. It was like fucking -6 out. Fucking, You know, you had no food all day, you're grumpy, you're hungry, you're just waiting to come home to eat some fucking hot food, and hopefully mom didn't fuck it up. She was making beef and barley soup. How hard is that to fuck up? It's beef and barley soup. Campbell's does it. You know, goddamn, my stepkid could make beef and barley soup, for fuck's sakes. So I had faith my mom was not gonna, you know, get creative. There's nothing more worse than when my mom says, oh, here, let me show you a trick, or, oh, I got an idea. My mom is the worst for trying to reinvent the wheel, and every time she tries to reinvent the wheel, it comes out to the shape of a triangle. I know that's an analogy or a metaphor, but trust me, it's fucking accurate. That being said, I come home at 2 o'clock in the morning, cold and hungry. I walk into the kitchen, I see the soup on the stove, it's kept nice and warm. I'm like, all right, I don't even have to microwave this bitch. I grab a fucking bowl, a spoon, I pour myself up with the ladle, I take one bite of it, and it's fucking sour. And I'm like, what the actual fuck? Like, why is this sour? So I start walking down the hallway, I'm like, what did you put in the soup? And my mom, I just hear her up from her room, up the stairwell, with the door open, just like a crack. And she's like, why? I'm like, it's fucking sour. What did you put in it? She's like, well, I didn't know what to season it with, so I used balsamic vinegar. And I'm like, how much did you fucking use? And then at this point, I know how full the bottle was, so my mom just bought it. And like, my mom made roughly about 3 to 4 liters of soup. Now, if I'll have to put an image of the bottle and the brand of the fucking vinegar that she used, but she used half a bottle of fucking vinegar for this fucking soup. And I'm like mad because there's like onion powder, there's garlic powder, Montreal steak spice, salt and pepper, like court bouillon fucking seasoning packet, like just so many fucking things she could have used to fucking make this fucking beef and barley soup, but she chose balsamic vinegar. Now, I want you to stop and think right fucking now, literally stop everything if you're doing. If you're driving a car right now, literally just slam on the brakes, get rear-ended. I don't give a shit, because there's going to be nothing more fucked up than explaining to somebody, when's the last time you ever had a beef and barley soup that had vinegar in it? Because for the most part, it doesn't go in the soup. And my mom to this day has claimed many a time that she's a better cook than me, and even though I've gone to culinary school, I've lost my touch, and I say that with finger quotations, lost my touch. And it's like this one time too, I was cooking for mom and the family, and there was one of the few times like there's no spices or seasonings in the cupboard, there's like next to no fucking ingredients. And I managed to make something out of fucking nothing. Like, I did pretty damn good. And my mom comes up, tastes it, and goes like, well, then, you're losing your touch. I'm like, what do you fucking mean? Like, literally, I would have liked to see you actually make fucking better. Oh, you know what? How about this? How about I take some maple syrup, some balsamic vinegar, fucking boil that up, throw some carrots in, like, here, guys, carrot vinegar soup. Yeah, your mom's fucking special. Like, you know what I mean? Like, goddamn, there's nothing worse than when my mom wants to fucking make food and then, you know, try to feed it on to others. Shout out to my boy, Nick St. Cyr. He's going to love this part. So this one time, like, this is like a prime example of what I'm talking about. My mom was, like, this is years too after I had moved out. Like, I don't know why, but sometimes my friends would just still show up at my fucking parents' place to hang out and drink with one of my other brothers. And like, you know, my mom's like, oh, hey, Nick, how you doing? You want some dinner? And Nick's kind of drunk, and he'll be like, yeah, sure, I'll fucking eat your food. I don't care. And he's like, hook me the fuck up. I'm Nick. I'll eat your shit. Now finish your sentence. By the way, those are a bunch of PJs for my boy Nick, because I know he's going to be hearing this part. He might even be fucking laughing right now. Anyways, so my mom, when she went to go cook dinner, she didn't clean off the fucking countertop. She didn't like fucking wipe around the stove. If there was like, and like my stepdad, he's pretty bad. He'll like take like fucking tools from the shed, the garage, whatever, and he'll put them like on the counter in the kitchen. Like, it, like they don't go there, but he does it anyways. Like, so it gets like, you know, very, very bad countertops. Like, just shit you do not want. Like, if you put your hands on this countertop, you better be best washing your hands before dinner type shit. I cannot paint an image in your head anymore of how bad my mom's fucking countertop is. So anyways, fucking, as she's going to serve up Nick this bowl of fucking pierogies, one of them fucking slips out of her fucking ladle or her spoon, whatever the fuck she's serving it up with, and it hits the counter floor, or countertop, sorry. And Nick sees out of the corner of his eye, And my mom, trying to, be all sneaky, just quickly puts it in the bowl, hopes no one sees it. She's about to serve it up. And Nick's like, no, Denise, you don't go fucking taking that fucking dirty ass pierogi, putting it in my fucking bowl, and trying to feed it to me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I remember Nick just telling me this story, and I was like, yeah, you know what, man, that sounds like fucking something my mom did. Like, this is a true story too. Like, I don't blame my brother Jeremy for this anymore. We've talked about this, and it's one of those things where, like, it's just my mom being abusive, and like, I would love to take my mom actually to court for this, because like, this is psychological fucking torture at its best. So my brother, Jeremy, he got chickenpox, and I was at my nanny's for like summer vacation for like 2 weeks, and that's when all my brothers got chickenpox. So I come home and they're all sick, and I'm the only one without chickenpox. Now, in your mind, I'm not like a major germ freak or anything, but when people are sick in your house, you usually tend to try to not to get sick. So this one morning, my mom's fucking literally trying everything that she can to make me catch chickenpox. So she's making Jeremy sit beside me and play video games with me. I'm like, no, like, get the fuck away from me. You're fucking sick. And he's like, Mom's making me. And then she's like, Dad, just play with your brother. And she'd fucking yell at me and like make me feel like I'm the fucking, like, guilt trip. You know what I mean? Like, make me feel like I'm the fucking one being a fucking goof. So, and that's a key strong word, goof, but I'll use that one like left, right, and center when I'm telling these stories. Like, this is some goofed out shit that happened to me. And if anyone has a problem with it, you can suck my fucking dick. So I go to have breakfast, and my mom makes me sit beside my brother Jeremy, and we're having shreddies, and I gotta take a piss, right? So I go up to go piss, I come back, and my brother's fucking hand is literally in my bowl of fucking cereal, and I'm like, I'm not fucking eating that. And my mom literally made me eat the fucking bowl of fucking shreddies, and I sat at the table and I wasn't eating it. My mom literally smacked me upside the back of the head and said, fucking eat it. And like, I'm fucking crying in tears, and my mom's making me eat these fucking shreddies. Like, these are just like things my mom fucking did. And she'll like lie, cry, deny, say she never did these things. But the best part is, when you have, no offense, Mom, if you ever hear this one, but when you have 6 kids and you've done them all fucking dirty, and they all notice the patterns and things that you've done, and like, oh yeah, Mom did this to me too. Or yeah, I've had stories like that where Mom's done this thing to me. You know what? You're not going to ever get away with it forever. 2, when you fucking get called out for these things, when it involves another sibling, you can't just say, oh, that never happened, because generally like, yeah, you made me fucking put my hand in Denon's fucking bowl of fucking shreddies so he would get sick. You know what I mean? Then Mom will, when she's finally called out on these things, like, she'll lie, deny, cry about it, but when it's so far gone, and it's, to the point where she can't lie about it anymore, and it's being called out so harsh that she's caught in the act red-handed and being called out by the other people that were there too, she'll turn around and rationalize and be like, well, it was for your own good anyways. So then she admits to doing it, but it's like, then why did you lie about it the whole fucking time? People have said, don't share these stories on the online, Denon. Like, it's not therapeutic. It's not no one there is gonna be there to help you. And it's like, at the same time, just telling these stories and hearing it from my own tone of voice, I'm not like pent up in rage. I'm not like banging my fist on the fucking table in anger saying, fuck that cunt, may she go to fucking hell, I hope she fucking dies. It's not really like that. But for me, these stories are funny, because I can tell these stories all day long and have a good time about it. But when my mom hears them, she gets so fucking worked up. Like, when I think it's like part 12 or that's right. When I was doing these on the Facebook format, when I was just like literally texting these all and just leaving them as the stories, I got to part 16 before my mom finally even found out I was making these just shit my mom did stories. And the best part was, too, she's reading number 16, and that's the one where she smashed up my stepdad's mother's RV, like Grandma Smart, as I call her. She lent out the family her RV for the summer, and Mom fucking bashed this thing up and fucking just bashed it to hell, right? Like, cause I'll get to the story when we get to part 16. But she damaged the vehicle. So when she's reading the story, she's like, that never happened like that. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, are you trying to tell me right now Grandma never lent us the fucking motorhome? Did that not happen? She's like, well, yeah. I'm like, so we didn't go up to 20 Mile Bay? She's like, well, yeah. She's like, but I never bashed up the fucking RV. I'm like, okay, if you didn't bash it up, what did you do to it then? She's like, I dented it. And I'm like, dented, bashed, does not mean the same thing. Like, you can bash something and put a fucking dent into it. If you fucking dented something, how hard did you bash into it to put a dent? Like, I'm sorry if I'm not using your choice of grammar or words, but just because I didn't use the word dented doesn't mean you didn't bash up the fucking motorhome, Mom. Like, and to say that those things didn't happen, you're fucking stretching for a fucking far one. So yeah, that one's a little bit more fresh for me, and I can actually, like, when I told that story, I kind of like relived the moment. That was kind of cool. But when my mom fucking sees and hears these things, she'll deny them. She literally will make up a scenario in her head, and if you don't use the, like I said, the one word that she would have chose to use, and that's the thing here, choice of words. She will just say it didn't happen. And then when she does get called on it, like I said, she'll do a fucking mental gymnastic. I've never seen this person, or any person for that matter, go through the amount of mental fucking stunts to get to where they get to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking crazy. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else even ever had a story like this with their mom growing up, or if they've had an overbearing brute of a fucking mom. Like, my mom, if she was a lesbian, she'd be one of the fucking bold dykes, you know what I mean? So if you ever had a mom like that, comment in the fucking section below. Please like and subscribe, and follow me next week for another Just Shit My Mom Did story. I believe it will be, part 3 next week? Because this is part 2, right? Don't worry, I'm pretending to be dumb. I'm having fun here. I don't remember what part 3 is, because I'm retelling these stories based off of my writings. So I'm going to have to look up part 3, fucking remember what I said, and then if I read it word for word, I'll kind of read like this and be robotic. And not that I read robotically so like that, but you're not going to get the same level of charisma and being charismatic in my voice and my tones when I'm telling these stories. I know sometimes I might get a little excited. And what I mean excited is, like, I'll be telling a story and I might interrupt myself to tell another detail in the story I may have forgotten to add in. But I'm just trying to do the best for you, the listener, to kind of have a mental image of what I'm trying to describe, you know what I mean? There's nothing worse than when you work in a workplace and you have someone who's supposed to be your superior or has seniority over you, and they don't know how to give you directions, or they fucking don't know how to describe something really well. Like, you know, they tell you to go something and go grab this thing from that place, and you're like, well, what thing from that, what place? Like, the thing I'm talking about right fucking here, and then they point at it, opposed to saying, like, you know, hey, can you go grab me the fucking green hose off of the white hook that's on that metal pole? See how fucking more descriptive that was? It took me a longer time to say it, but you're not gonna fuck it up. Like, if you don't know what a green hose on a white hook on a metal pole looks like, then that's on you. That's not on me anymore. But I just hate people that use really, really undescriptive words. I took creative writing for 2 years in high school. This has nothing to do with my mom. This is all me now. I'm doing a victory lap. When I was in high school, I took this creative writing class, as I was saying, and we were supposed to do like a short 300-word story. And my story was so creative, I couldn't fit it to just 300 words. It didn't even fit on 3 fucking pages, double-sided. I ended up writing, I think, 6 or 7 pages long, double-sided, of my fucking story. And my teacher was impressed. Like, he actually had me read out the story to the class. And the best part about the story was there was a girl in my class named Cassiopeia, and she kind of used to piss me off back in the day. So I wrote this fucking story about her falling in love with an Oscar Mayer wiener, and then the parents didn't approve of it, so they took the fucking, they tried to take the Oscar Mayer wiener away from her, but she got it back. So then they took the daughter away and locked her up in the castle. And then my fucking Oscar Mayer wiener character had to team up with an emotional stress puppet for boys, a little black spoon that went to an all-white private school spoon, so he was the only black spoon at the school, and he didn't have any racial fucking problems about it, but I don't know, I just wanted to draw a spoon with an afro and a bow tie. I'm on dead serious. I drew little characters to go with my story too, which was not asked by me, by the way. I just went above and beyond to do it because I was in creative writing. I wanted to be creative. I also took art class. There's another reason why I became a culinary artist. You know what I mean? Like, shit. ending on that culinary artist note, I think that'd be a good way to wrap this up, considering this was the food story. I feel like it goes full circle. So yeah, that's it. Legit, join me next week as we start part 3 of Just Shit My Mom Did. And this is all leading up to the finale where I'll eventually mention the time my mom gave me salvia and I had to give her something in return to get even with her. And it's just, yeah, my family's more dysfunctional than the Osbournes. Catch you later.